Hi guys, it's a Sunday today, and as it is on Sundays, people go to church. At least they do in Kenya, or most people in Kenya do. Not so much in Germany, but yeah, well, that's a topic for another day. Today, I want to talk about Kenya in specifically about the church getting involved into politics in Kenya, which is kind of an interesting topic to talk about, I believe. Because if I compare this to the situation how it is in Germany, where there is a strict separation between churches and politics, this is not the case in Kenya. And this has some interesting consequences. Anyways, my future wife is going to church regularly on Sundays, and she also told me in the past that what's no, let me I cannot expect any a German listener to our channel here to really understand what's currently going on in Kenya. The situation is kind of dramatic, to be honest. The economy is down, people are depressed, and nothing is really going forward. Corruption is rampant. There is many examples for all this, and altogether, the country doesn't seem to develop really into a good direction. Things really in this country, they don't look good. This is another reason you may remember, or if you don't, then let me recap quickly for you. Um, there were a lot of violent protests and demonstration earlier this year. It was mainly around the time May and June. It was the Gen Z protests. So it was young people going on the streets, and they were protesting heavily, and they were squashed by police and even by military forces, which is also in stark contrast to what it is in Germany, because if military would be deployed to squash down a protest, yeah, that's not going to happen, and it is a breach really of the civil society. Anyways, let's look back what's happening in Kenya. The Gen Zers, they went protesting, and as it often happens, the protests, they kind of fizzled away in August this year, and since then it's relatively quiet. Um, However, economy has not recovered at all. It is just awful. Small businesses, and I mean, I have a really a first-hand experience of this one, like in Adams Arcade, which is in Nairobi. It is one of those markets where you have small market stands. It's just like a bazaar. You can get everything there, from shoes, clothing, groceries, poultry, meat, tools, whatever you want. You can get services there, get a haircut, and I don't know, whatever. You can find everything there. Usually a business would pick up towards Christmas season, and it is not. It is just completely down. Nothing is going to happen there. And that's not only the case there in Adams Arcade, but it is also the case even downtown. Those small shops, they are not performing well. All the business owners, they have big problems. Uh, there's a lot of unrest, and the overall atmosphere is boiling, silently boiling, whereas the government is kind of just trying to keep the country quiet, keep the people quiet, and at the same time handing out big business deals like the privatization of the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, the national airport of Nairobi, to a proven corrupt corporation or conglomerate. They were proven to be corrupt in the United States. They were indicted and found guilty. That's a big scandal in the United States. The corporation is the same, it's the Adani Group, and they have taken over the airport in Nairobi. So now you can ask yourself, oh yeah, and this business was made totally under the table and without the approval of the parliament or any government governing body. You can ask yourself, so what did happen there in reality? And it's fairly obvious. Yeah, it's corruption. It's corruption on the highest levels. That's what's going to happen there, exactly. Anyways, coming back to what the situation is in the country right now, altogether, or to be more precise, let's have a look what the churches are doing. The Catholic Church, who was always in support of the government, now has openly declared that they are not working any further together with the government or government officials, and that they would not accept any further donations to the Catholic Church. Of course, donations to a church, that is not bribery in that sense, but that is just made public. It is basically in the sense of doing good and talking about it. That's what the government tried to do. But they are refused. Their money is refused by now. So the Catholic Church is openly taking position. And the same thing happened today in another church in Nairobi. So one of the judges from the High Court was invited to speak in that church, and he made a public statement that he's no longer supporting the government and that the government must step down. So you may ask yourself, really, is that the role of the church? They are getting involved into politics now, and they are openly criticizing the government. Yes, they do, and I think that is really something major. This is very important because the churches, they have much more power in the Kenyan society, like for example in any Western country like Germany or France or even the United States. So where there is typically a separation between church and the government. Not so in Kenya. So things are gonna go really interesting from that point onwards. If the church openly declares, government, we do not trust you any further, we do not want your money any further, instead we ask you to step down and to call for re-elections, then this is a major step and that will have consequences. I mean, again, the country is suffering, and the government right now is trying to install themselves not only for the rest of their period they had been elected for, but they want to extend that period for even longer. So it looks like to me like they are trying to play the old game to make Ruto the lifelong president in the end, or that's probably what he wants. If he's coming through with it, I don't know. It's getting less and less likely, and I believe that's a good thing. So if the Gen Zers, if they go back out on the street, I believe they can count on a much broader support. I, as a German, have vivid memories on how it was something like 35 years ago when the Berlin Wall came down. Before that event happened, of course, there was a lot of unrest in society, and people went to demonstrations, which is widely known today, but probably not so much is also the role the churches played, because the churches offered the protesters and the demonstrators asylum in their churches. They opened the church doors when there was a demonstration, and then the police kind of squashed the demonstrators, and the demonstrators went running. So the churches opened their doors and said, come on in, the police won't really raid this place here, we will hide you, we will take care of you. And that was a major support then. And half a year later, history has shown that the East German government was history indeed. They were done, they were finished. So do not underestimate the power of the churches and what role they play in society and in politics. So I'm really looking forward what's going to happen next. So that's it for today, for Sunday. I hope you like the content. If so, just like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.